Coming up on this episode of Protecting Our Community, some pocket change left in your vehicle can cost you a lot of dollars later on. Vehicle break-ins are on the rise. We'll tell you how you can prevent theft from your auto and lessen the chance of your vehicle being stolen. Also, talking insurance fraud in the second half of our show. Stay tuned to Protecting Our Community. Hello and welcome to our Protecting Our Community. I'm your host, Brian Quill. Our goal is to improve your quality of living by giving you the knowledge of the agencies and organizations that are here to help you. We'll talk to members from local, state, and federal agencies, as well as community leaders that can provide you with useful information to help protect yourself and your community. Today we're going to examine two crimes that could cost you a lot of money and hassle. We're going to explore the rising rate of vehicle theft in the city. We'll have a guest from the city's major crimes unit here to discuss how and why vehicles are stolen, along with what you could do to reduce the chances that your car will be next. In the second half of our show, I'll talk to a guest from the DA's office insurance fraud unit to learn how this crime hurts us all. It's time for our first guest here to talk about auto thefts. Please welcome Philadelphia Police Department's Major Crimes Unit, Lieutenant Martin Bernard. Good evening, sir.
Good afternoon, Brian. How are you? Good.
Welcome to the show. Can you tell our viewers how long you've been with the Philadelphia Police Department?
Approximately 35 years.
Oh, great. And how long have you been with the Major Crimes Unit?
Approximately 2 years.
Oh, okay. So can you explain to our unit what the Major Crimes Unit?
Major Crimes Auto Squad conducts investigations of vehicles that are stolen or parts that are stolen from vehicles. We basically investigate chop shops, auto theft rings in the Philadelphia area. We also examine vehicles that are taken into custody by the Philadelphia Police. We conduct VIN checks on these vehicles to make sure the vehicle is not replated or in stolen status.
Wow, so that's a lot of work, a lot of involvement in the Major Crimes Unit. How can people lessen their chance with their vehicles being broken into? Because I know that's a major issue now in the city of Philadelphia, all around the city, and probably outside the city as well.
That's correct. There is an issue with people leaving their car keys for convenience reasons inside of their vehicles. People also have a tendency to pull up to convenience stores such as Wawa's or gas stations, leave their cars running, especially in the winter, for convenience sake. It presents a very easy opportunity for a theft of your vehicle by a person who's looking to steal a car.
All right, so basically just not thinking, leaving a pocketbook or keys or pocket change, and you're going to have a homeless person or somebody's just looking for an easy way to get money.
Right. In the case of a theft from auto, where you've demonstrated your windows could be broken, people often leave electronic devices, cash, or other valuable items visible in the car, and people who have drug addictions or people who are just down on their luck and need some kind of financial ways to provide for themselves, it's an easy target for them to break at your window and remove them items from the vehicle, which costs in the end you and your insurance company a lot of money to replace and a lot of inconvenience for you and your family.
I agree. Could you tell us approximately how many vehicles were stolen last year in the city of Philadelphia?
Yes, I can. Last year, for the year of 2017, 1.6% of the vehicles registered in the Philadelphia area were stolen. That was a total of 1.6% of the vehicles in Philadelphia were broken into. That's a total of 11,396 reports received in the year of 2017. 0.8% of vehicles were stolen in Philadelphia. That totals 5,681 vehicles out of the 725,297 registered vehicles in the city of Philadelphia area.
Wow.
So even though it's only 0.8%, if it's your car, it's significant. 'Cause
Absolutely.
It creates a big problem for you, your family, and anyone else who uses that vehicle.
I definitely agree.
And not to mention that when that occurs, it also causes your insurance rates could possibly rise from that happening.
Correct.
So,
Correct. So the new vehicle is coming out. Is there a particular model, make or model that's particularly stalling, that's in high demand?
actually, newer vehicles are very hard to steal. You really need a key to get the vehicle started. So basically, the only way a thief is going to steal a newer model vehicle is when you leave your vehicle running, or like I said before, you conceal a key. And you might think in your mind that you're concealing it at a good spot that they'll never find, but a lot of these guys know where, they get so used to stealing vehicles, they know where people store a second key in
So
the
you're
vehicle.
talking about like hide a key, and they're putting it
Yes.
under the fender, under the framework.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
No, in the glove box, in the console, under the seat, stuck in under the seat, under the mat. All these are things that you should not be doing, you know, because it really makes your car available for a theft.
Well, how about older cars? I heard and I know that there's a demand for older cars. Can you explain why a thief might want to steal somebody's older car? And they're probably thinking, no one's going to steal my car, it's old.
Well, that actually would be untrue because in the Philadelphia area, Hondas are 1997 Hondas through like 99 are really sought after. These vehicles are stolen for their parts. These vehicles are also stolen to recondition, and some people are interested in racing these types of vehicles. They're very high demand among younger people who modify them for such activities. My suggestion with a vehicle like this would be simple as getting a club and inserting a club on the car, which would really disable, because you can't disable your ignition. Your ignition in an older model car is not an onboard computer like a newer car. So using the use of a club would really reduce the possibility of your Honda being stolen.
All right, very interesting, very interesting. So what kind of advice would you give our viewers about preventing their vehicles from being stolen? Is it we covered about the keys, hiding the key in a not safe area of their vehicle, but anything else?
It's a lot of common sense, basically, when you think about it. I mean, you try to park your vehicle in a well-lit place. If you have a camera in your house that films your front door, try to park your vehicle where you could actually see your vehicle in view of the camera. Park your car where there's a lot of pedestrian traffic. You know, lock your vehicle. That's a common mistake that people don't make. They just don't lock their vehicles. I mean, that's another obvious thing. You want to make your vehicle safe as well as yourself when you exit your vehicle. So that's what we recommend. And the Philadelphia Police Department has this tip card available that you can pick up at almost any district. Brian, you have a couple copies
Right
there.
here. Yep, I do.
And I would suggest if you have interest in looking into it further, that you get yourself one of these off one of the community relations offices in the district.
Oh, that's great. Now, I know you're running a wonderful program because I was involved with it. I volunteered my car to get done. Can you tell us about the etching program?
Yes, the ATPA, which is the Philadelphia Auto Theft Prevention Authority, they sponsor a VIN etching. A VIN etching is basically a simple way of making your car less attractive to thieves. Basically what you would do, we have many events throughout the city. They're usually placed on the Philadelphia Police Twitter page by Corporal Grip, who does that Twitter page. When you bring your car to that event, there's a little black lighting writing in the corner of your window. You probably won't see it on the TV, but you can go out and look at your own vehicle.
Okay.
What we do is you bring your registration card. We duplicate the identification number, which is the federal VIN number. We make up imprints on these little pieces of paper, and we actually acid etch it into your car window.
So it goes right on the bottom.
Yes, it's almost invisible.
And you can't hardly see it.
Now, it makes your car less attractive to certain kinds of thieves. It really does.
And I could vouch for that. I did it to my own vehicle. No harm to the window or to the vehicle. Good thing to invest in. If you see it, it's a free program offered by the Philadelphia Police Department. They're going around and doing it across the city.
We have a couple events coming up. They will be on the Twitter page for the Philadelphia Police Department if you have any interest. Our next event, I believe, is at Franklin Mills Mall in the Northeast. And then we had one in West Philadelphia coming up also in the month of May.
That's great. That's
I
great.
believe that's going to be at 52nd and Market at the CVS at the Rite Aid parking lot.
In the Rite Aid
Yes.
parking lot.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
you heard it right here. Get in line, get there early. How long does it take?
It's a matter of minutes. You're at it within
Minutes.
5 minutes. You might have
5
a
minutes.
3-minute delay in waiting in line if we have a couple vehicles we're working on, but usually we have enough people there where we get to you almost within 5 minutes.
That's awesome. And it's free.
It is free.
It is free. And that's the most important thing. Free. 5 minutes. You can't beat that. The SAVE program. Did you, we had that program in the Philadelphia Police Department years
That's
ago.
correct.
Is that still continuing?
I believe still may be some available in some districts. What you do is you put a sticker on your car. It has a number inside the sticker. It makes your car available that you're agreeing that the police can stop your vehicle anytime to make sure that the person operating the vehicle has permission to have that vehicle. To my knowledge, it is still available in some areas of the city.
And from what I understand from the program itself, it's basically a waiver and it's authorizing the police department to say, hey, you can stop my vehicle at any time between these hours.
That's correct.
All right, great. And that will deter people from stealing your car, hopefully. What else do we have to share with our viewers today?
Let's see if we can go over a couple points. Just basically, you know, some things we really want to hit on is leaving their vehicles running while unattended. These are known as puffers.
Okay.
So that's what the ATPA refers to them as. Again, that's a very, I know, convenience in the winter when it's cold and you don't feel like, you know, having to come out and heat your car up before you leave. But just simply leaving your car run in front of your house or when you run into Wawa for a coffee is not advisable because it makes it available for theft at any time. In addition, we touched on the VIN etchings. I actually have a list of dates attached here. So May 4th at 57th Chestnut at the Rite Aid will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. On May 19th at the Franklin Mills Yellow Lot from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. June 16th, location will be determined by the 24th District. I know from past years that this event will be conducted along Aramingo Avenue in Fishtown area of the city. So again, feel free to reach out to Major Crimes or Community Relations. Community Relations office number is 215-685-3240. And Major Crimes is always looking for tips on stolen cars. And our number is 215-686-3190.
Well, Lieutenant, thank you so much for sharing that information to us and the viewers. Hopefully it will help lessen the break-ins as well as auto thefts in the city of Philadelphia.
Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome. So what do we do when someone breaks into your vehicle or you have a vehicle stolen? Start with the following. First, call 911. Make sure you don't touch anything. Officers might dust for prints. File a police report and get the DC control numbers from the officer. File a claim with your insurance company if there's any damage to your vehicle. Cancel any and all credit and debit cards that may have been left in the vehicle and stolen. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll talk about insurance fraud.
Wake each morning and get lost in the adventure, knowing that you will be ready for wherever the day takes you. Learn from those willing to teach. Their wisdom and their strength will become yours. They will impart to you a tradition of education nationally recognized for its value. A tradition worthy of your best efforts. As young men and women of LaSalle, We will invest in you the guidance to blaze your own path, to go forth into the unknown with new certainty, to realize your full potential as professionals, as leaders, as citizens. To take up your place as the accountants, speech therapists, journalists, and CEOs of your generation. To impact this city and the world beyond. These adventures are yours, and you are ready for them. Explorers are never lost.
Hooked to the double feature and you're on my mind. Return of the creature that crawled up from the subway line. You're always keeping me waiting, keeping me waiting for you.
Welcome back to Protecting Our Community. I'm your host, Brian Coyle. On this show, we try to provide you with information to help protect yourself and your community. We already looked at auto theft, and we're going to look at another aspect of car ownership, insurance. Here to talk about insurance fraud and how not to be a victim or a criminal is Detective Pat Gleason from the DA's Insurance Fraud Unit. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so tell me, how long have you been with the Philadelphia Police Department?
I've been in the Philadelphia Police Department 33 years.
Wonderful. And how long have you been with the DA's office?
I've been detailed to the DA's Insurance Fraud Unit for 20 years now.
Wow, that's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit more about the DA's Insurance Fraud Unit?
The DA's Insurance Fraud Unit was created in 1995 when it obtained a grant from the Insurance Fraud Prevention Authority. With that grant, they opened up the unit and they hired 9 detectives, bringing them in from the police department. I want to say 6 attorneys, a paralegal, and a secretary.
Okay, okay. Can you tell us what constitutes insurance fraud?
Well, Chapter 18 of the Pennsylvania Crimes Code defines it as knowingly and with the intent to defraud, provide any insurer, self-insured, presents or causes to be presented to any insurer or self-insured any statement forming a part of blah, 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 blah. Basically, insurance fraud is a lie. Whether you lie to the state or to the police about having insurance by giving them a fake insurance card, or you lie about the date of your insurance or your accident, the extent of your damage, the existence of injuries, you lie, you commit insurance fraud.
So how many cases, if you could say, of insurance fraud is handled in Philadelphia?
Well, they actually keep statistics on that. In Pennsylvania, there are 3,719 referrals of insurance fraud to all the different agencies that investigate it. Of those referrals, about 55% of them were auto-related. In Philadelphia, the total number of referrals was 737. Of those 737, 477 were auto-related, about 65%. Out of those referrals, the Philadelphia DA's office created 305 cases. They opened up the investigations. Out of those investigations, there were 61 arrests, and during 2017, we had 86 convictions.
So when you refer to auto insurance fraud with those stats, can you explain the details referring to the case? Was it saying somebody stole my car, theft from auto, accident?
We see all kinds of lies when it comes to insurance fraud, whether it's auto, home, or life. For an example, if a car owner can't afford his car note, or he's got a real lemon, he just wants to get out of his car, it mysteriously disappears or goes up in flames. That's insurance fraud. An employee gets hurt on the job. Well, actually, he got hurt at the softball game on Sunday, but he makes it into work and reports that it happened at work. That's insurance fraud. Pedestrian walking down the street, slips and falls, totally by mistake. Or he actually does it in the store when he's caught on film, just actually laying down. That's insurance fraud. Your car gets damaged while the insurance is lapsed, but you wait a day and then you get coverage. That's insurance fraud. You can't afford the policy because you live in Philadelphia and they're high rates, so you register it in the Poconos at your aunt's house. That's called rate evasion. That's also insurance fraud.
Interesting. The cost of an insurance fraud. How much does it cost the Commonwealth?
Well, nationally, they keep stats nationally.
Okay.
The cost is in the tens of billions of dollars, be with a billion. In Pennsylvania, if you do the math, you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars to the insurance carriers and then ultimately to you and I.
So, at the end, we're paying for
That's correct.
other people's lives.
That's correct. You and I who are paying for our insurance policies, we end up having higher rates and higher risks for the coverage.
So when you investigate an insurance fraud and you find somebody and they're convicted, what are the consequences of lying? What are the penalties when they're prosecuted?
Well, if you lie to your insurance carrier, you commit insurance fraud, it's a felony. It's punishable with up to $5,000 fine or incarceration for the first offense. Worse than that, though, you lose your job. Insurance fraud is what they call a crimen falsi. A crimen falsi is Latin for a fraud that injures another. Many jobs use crimen falsi convictions as a preclusion from hiring or a reason for firing. Employers don't want people who are known liars to work for them.
Well, I agree. I wouldn't want somebody lying for me, working for me. So what are the steps that the DA's office that are taken or they take when investigating somebody with filing charges?
Well, when a referral comes into us, it goes through an evaluation process. First, the chief district attorney in the unit evaluates whether we're going to open up a case and gives it to the assigned district attorney, and then it makes its way to the detective who actually goes out and does the investigation. We don't work with the insurance carriers. They do their own work. If we determine that there is a fraud here, we will redo what they do, and then we'll do some other steps as well to lead to a conviction.
Okay, so who would be the complainant in the matter? Would it be the insurance company itself or the state?
It's always the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Any criminal case in the state of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth is the victim. People who are victimized are witnesses, are complainants, but it's the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania who is pursuing the case.
What other kind of insurance fraud do you guys investigate besides auto insurance?
We investigate homeowners fraud. You have a burglary, you're really a victim of a burglary, but instead of that 13-inch TV you had, you report that it was a 55-inch TV. That's fraud. That's a lie. That's material to the claim. They refer to that as soft fraud. You actually were a victim of a crime, but you felt like, I've been paying for my insurance for a long time now. I deserve a little extra money out of this.
Wow. That's amazing to think why somebody would lie, because like you said, it will affect their employment if they're looking for a job, or if they have a job, they could definitely get fired for something like this.
Quite often people don't think when they're at that point, or they're a little hard pressed for cash, and they don't think that this is really going to matter. It's just a little extra cash. I'm not really doing anything bad. I've been paying for a long time.
As far as auto insurance fraud with accidents, what can people do to prevent them from being a victim of this?
You want to be alert. Accidents are called accidents because they're not on purpose. But you need to be alert because some people create accidents on purpose, like in a swoop and squat. They pull in front of you and then they slam on the brakes, and next thing you know, you rear end them. That was intentional. You had to pay very close attention while you're driving. Also, there could be a jump in a real accident. You see somebody's family's coming to help them out in their accident that you just hit them. Well, actually, they're jumping into the car and they're telling the police that they were in the car at the time of the accident. That's insurance fraud. You pay attention, you be alert, and also don't sign any contracts while you're out there on the street. You know, you got all kinds of people running up trying to get their hooks into a case. So don't sign any contracts out there on the street.
All right. Stay away from it. Wait. Calm down. Evaluate the situation, and then make a wise choice.
Yeah.
And I know about calling your insurance company because they have a list of people that they could send out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, you know, this was a great information, and I'd like to thank you for coming on our show today.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
You too.
If you're interested in learning about upcoming vehicle etching events, please visit the Philadelphia Police Department website at phillypolice.com or call your crime prevention officer at your local police district. And for more information on protecting yourself from insurance fraud, go to the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General and visit the insurance fraud section. You can find this information at attorneygeneral.gov. You can also visit insurance.pa.gov and go to the consumer section. I would like to thank everyone who appeared today and thank the viewers for coming in and joining in on the discussion. Take care. Thank you for being part of protecting our community. So until next time, remember, protecting our community is everyone's business. Keep those eyes and ears open.